Hello. Okay, I better mute some people here because some people are on the, I got lots of, okay, good. We're all good now because I had some noise coming from the participants that are on the webinar. So welcome everybody. Today's webinar is, and the Facebook Live, we're doing both at the same time, I hope. And what it's about is we're going to be talking about the You Are the Zest Day. This is to prepare so that you understand more about what we're doing and whether or not this is going to be a good decision for you. So I would like to say, first of all, that this full moon is coming up tomorrow with an eclipse, a full eclipse of the moon. And Lena Stevens from Power Path, I loved what she said about it. She said, this is a good time for change, commitment, putting yourself first, expanding your growth, pushing beyond your comfort zone, thinking outside the box, and dreaming big. Let's set some good intentions and go for it. So maybe the retreat will fit into this category for you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have a resume a mile long. Now, I'm saying this because a lot of people don't know who I am. I'm Linda Babulik. I'm a personal business strategist. I'm the author of an international bestseller called Zest Your Life, A Taste of Inner Wisdom. But I've had a lot of things that I have now pulled all of that experience together to be able to share in Zest Your Life, Zest Your Business, which is what I'm doing now. I've been a travel agent. That was a fun job. I'll tell you, when we plan vacations, it's great because I know all the details you need to know. I ran a court reporting firm. That was interesting. You know, yeah, with the little steno machines like you see in court. Yep. And I worked for a Royal Commission. I worked on Parliament Hill here in Ottawa. I worked at the Correctional Service of Canada. I established the volunteer program up at Fenbrook, and I think they're up to about 1,200 volunteers. I was there for a whole year. A cell was my office. That was interesting times. I certainly learned a lot. I remember one day going like, seriously? I'm working in corrections, I'm in a cell, and the answer I got back down was, yes, ma'am, because there's things you need to learn here. And I learned a lot. It opened my heart to have empathy and understanding that, you know, just a little thing can change your whole life. One choice, one decision good, one choice bad, and things can change. I also had my own corporate training company. That's why I have the Zest Your Business programs. So I did corporate training with the auto parts manufacturers to Honda. These are people, mostly men. I had a couple of women, but mostly men that worked on the assembly line. So I can tell you, my training is fun and it's engaging. These guys are used to putting like tires and wheels together, and it was their first time having training on how to be a supervisor, entry-level supervisors. So you could imagine they are not used to sitting in a room, in a classroom, because we were actually using a classroom. I had to make it fun. I made competitions. I gave them, what? Unmute yourself. Okay, I was muted. I gave them competitions. I gave them a lot of great things to do. We would have competitions. I give them prizes. Like the team that won got Smarties. The ones that didn't win got Mars bars, stuff like that. So my training is real fun, and I have that all pulled together. So I'll be taking bits and pieces of that into the retreat. And there are pieces of that in my book. The whole piece on relationships, it was all about connecting with people in my corporate training program. What else did I do? I went on a vision quest in the year 2000. I did ceremonies. I studied shamanic practices. So I'm well versed in ancient women traditions. And I was so curious and eager to learn. So that's always good fun. So the intent and the purpose that I learned is to always start with an intent. So my intent for today's webinar is to give you a glimpse into the kind of things that we're going to be doing next Saturday and to know whether or not you're fit. I want you to decide if you want to be with me and decide if this is a good fit for you, if this is your time to change, to step into being a zestier you. So, because 80% of change comes from within. It's not the circumstances around us, because we're the ones that are making those circumstances. We're the ones that are creating that life. So that's what we want to talk about. We want to move, the whole intent for the retreat is to move from where we are now, to move to where we want to be, to a bigger, greater place. Hi, Neil. Awesome to see you on here. And I'm incorporating a lot of what I learned when I was with you in Mallorca, Neil. So you'll be happy to hear that at this retreat is for women. It's for you if you are curious. Yeah, if you're curious. If you're ready to be present in the here and now. If you can embrace your personal truth, your intentions, your dreams, your desires. And if you like to learn, because there's going to be some things in here that you may not know, or you might know it, but it might be a good opportunity to put a different spin on it. If you like to laugh, because there's a lot of laughter. If you don't drop dead in shock when I drop the F-bomb, because I can pretty much guarantee it's going to happen. It's just the way it is. Sometimes I get really excited. And if you like to connect. Also, if you like good food, because we're going to have some great food. Raylene's going to be catering, and she's with Eden Cheesecake. And thank you, Melissa. She's with Eden Cheesecake. We are going to eat more than cheesecake, but I guarantee you, it's the best cheesecake I've ever had. This is not for you if you're totally satisfied with your life. If you can't see yourself moving forward anywhere and you know what your plans are for the next year and you know how you're going to get there and you're confident you're going to be there. It is for you if you're looking back at 2018 and you're saying, not that good, eh? I didn't get as much done as I thought. We're going to have the content pieces in there, like I said, from my personal and my business side. We're going to create a mind map, which is a picture. How one of my clients said, it's when you take your ideas. I did it for him and we were screen sharing because he's out in BC. And he said, it's like you're going into my head. You're taking all my ideas and you're putting it into a picture for me. Because I just said, let riff. What are your dreams? And as he was doing it, I was shaking things around for me. Absolutely love it. Every client I've done this with, love it. I did a workshop for Fem City with it. They loved it. I did another Zoom and was teaching people how to do mind maps. It's a little piece of magic. It can work in your personal life. It can work in your business life. And I'm all about putting together so that your business fits into your personal and your personal fits into your business. We want it all, and we can do it all. We can have it all. The other content we're going to have is values. I have values cards. These are in my book, but I just find it's difficult with the list. So there's a way to download them, but don't worry about it. I downloaded them and I print them on business cards. Those perforated business cards? Because values are what guide us. There was a time when some people used to drink and drive. ridiculous, I know, but there was a time. There was time when people drove in cars with no seatbelts too. So it's really important for us to know what our values are now, because our values change. So that's one of the exercises we're going to do. And it always hits full of surprises when we do the values exercise. I'm going to be sharing a lot of tools with you. I love rocks. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I love rocks. This is my rose quartz. It comes with me whenever I do a ZEST Wisdom Circle. And this is just an expanded ZEST Wisdom Circle. Why the rose quartz? The rose quartz, because it opens your heart. And that's where we need to start, is with an open heart. I also have my marriage basket. These are some of the tools I learned. I know, isn't she a beauty? And there's lots of healing energy in here. So that will be available for us. And I do bring the smudge, and we smudge the space before we start, and we smudge ourselves. A lot of people think that that's an Aboriginal tradition from North America. And yes, it is. But it's also in many, many other places in the world where women and men have been burning smudge or incense. And we'll do that to clear our own energy. We're going to take a look at limiting beliefs and blocks that don't serve you. What are they? Could be fear, self-doubt, self-sabotage, procrastination. I know, I've done them all. So we're going to take a look at what those limiting beliefs are and which of those beliefs belong to you and which of the beliefs belong to somebody else. So that's important for us to know. I'm just looking down my list. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, we're going to look at the codependency triangle. That's another thing that I learned in the shamanic. And it's talking about being a victim or a persecutor or a rescuer. That's the codependency triangle. Victim, rescuer, persecutor. And you can be bouncing to all of those. Now, the good news is there is a positive one that is not the codependency triangle. It's the empowering triangle. So we're going to be talking about those and how they affect us in our life. One of my favorite topics is talking about animal totems. And it's based on your date of birth. And you'll notice that there's a lot of owls in my office. Can I get you? Oh yeah, there. See that top shelf? Woohoo, lots of owls. Because the owl is my power totem. And there's a story to that. I'll tell you the story when we see you. But we all have our own circle of animal totems that are there for us to rely on. And there's one you were given by your date of birth. So it's important for us to be able to take a look at those characteristics. And at the same time, what are the animal totems of the people around us? That's important to know. Yeah, and what are the characteristics that they have? We're going to talk about that. That's always so much fun. And then all of a sudden you start seeing your animal and you're going, oh yeah, I'm curious about that. We're going to be setting a really good positive intention, a very safe space. We're going to be letting go of whatever is lowering your vibrational energy, because we know everything is energy. And we want to be able to raise up that energy, because when we heal ourselves, it raises our vibrational energy. When we heal ourselves, we heal those around us. When we heal those around us, we heal the world. And I don't know about you, but this is a pretty messed up world. And we certainly can do whatever we can to increase that vibrational energy to heal each other and to heal the planet. So that's what we're going to be doing, is pulling it right up. We're going to lower your stress. Yeah, because that's what breathing and having fun and laughter does. Did you know laughter is the greatest aphrodisiac? And it lowers stress. It does all kinds of good things for your body. So there'll be plenty of laughter. Because remember those guys from the assembly line? You got to have some humor in there. Otherwise, they're not going to stick around. They're going to check out on you. And I don't want to bore myself when I'm leading a session or a workshop. This is interactive. We're going to have lots of time. We've got the whole day. And we want to open up the box to love. You know, when I moved to Ottawa almost 5 years ago now, I was here a few months when I said to my husband, I said, you know, I feel like I'm expanding. I feel like the box that I was in was pushing me in on all the sides. And now I can stretch it out a little bit more and it feels great. So that's really important to be able to realize that there's a box around us, and it could be that we put the box around ourselves, and that's not good. So how can we expand that box out a little bit more? That's what we're looking at. If you have any questions, just pop them into the box here, and I will answer any questions that you have about the session. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. Where is it going to be? It's going to be held in Ottawa. I rented through Airbnb a beautiful luxury home. It's spacious. It's got big comfy leather couches. Hi, Joe. It's got beautiful furniture, nice kitchen for Raylene to work in, and it's going to be really comfy, cozy, wonderful energy in that space. You can just feel it already. It's very centered, very strong. I love it. And what I really, really liked about this space, and what was the deal maker for me, was that it's right off the Blair Road exit, off the Queensway. So it's not far from the Gloucester Center, if you know where that is, near the Pineview Golf Course. And I will give you the exact address, and I'll even send you the YouTube video about it when you register. Now, speaking of registering, there's the full day deep diver experience is $367. That includes your snacks, your lunch, your dinner, and your evening, and your overnight, your breakfast the next morning. So that's pretty full, isn't it? You're going to have 4 meals. You're going to have your snacks and your full day, full evening experience. It's going to be great. That's the full experience is $367. I really priced it reasonable so that we could have really good food and we could have a really beautiful space to work in. If you can't spend the night, then you will have your snacks and your lunch provided for you, and that experience is $297. On both of them, you get a copy of my book, and you will get your own set of the values cards. Can you cater to vegetarian or special diets? Yes, we can absolutely cater to special diets. You just let us know, and Raylene's going to work around that, and she will make it happen for us, whatever it is that we need to have. She can make special diets for you. She's very well versed in that. She's been doing this for a lot of years. In fact, that's how I met her. I was speaking at an event in Montreal, and she was catering the lunch. We started to chat, and we've become best friends. How cool is that? What else do I need to tell you? Yes, you get a copy of my, the space. Yes, there are only 6 beds available for the sleepover, unless you want to share a bed. 3 of the beds have already been taken. So that means, yeah, you got the math right. There's only 3 beds left. So if you want to come with a friend and you don't mind sharing the same bed, then that will open up some other availability. But there are only 3 beds left. So I would really love you to book now. Remember what I said at the beginning about this being the full moon and the eclipse, that it's a good time for change, commitment, putting yourself first. I know, put yourself first. It's a day. It's a day, and I guarantee you, things for you are going to change after this. It's time for expanding your growth, for pushing beyond your comfort zone, for thinking outside of that box that we're stuck in, and dreaming big. So let's have some good intentions and let's do it. And I hope that today my webinar has provided you with some knowledge. Remember, if nothing else, remember that codependent triangle, and let's stay off of that. The victim, the rescuer, the persecutor. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because we can bounce around in, will there be swag bags? Yes, there will be swag bags, because we're already starting the bag with my book and with my cards. So it's great. I look forward to having you there. And remember that triangle. You want to stay out of that. Victim, rescuer, persecutor. Victim, rescue, persecutor. Not cool. So join us at the retreat, and we're going to talk about the empowering triangle. I hope you have a really great day. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, just pop them into the box. And as soon as you register, I'll send you a PDF of my book so you can start reading it, but it's not a prerequisite for you to be reading it ahead. If you give me your date of birth, if you want to play a little longer because people are staying on the call, tell me what your birth date is. I don't need the year for this. Just give me your birthday and I'll tell you what your animal totem is. How's that? Anybody want to play that one? I just need to find the page, so I don't know them all. Okay, I need some comments in there. So for me, I'm a Scorpio, so that makes me a snake. So what does that mean? That means that I shed my skin often. Okay, April 19th. April 19th is a red hawk. So what does a red hawk like to do? A red hawk likes to fly high up in the sky and likes to have a view from above, and yet can zero right in onto the target and achieve that goal, achieve that target. So the more you know about the red hawk, the more you'll know about yourself, because these animal totems could really help to guide you. So sometimes if you get your nose too much into the detail, you need to step back and say, wait a minute, what's the big picture and what is my goal? Melissa, you're March 11th. You're a Pisces, so that makes you a cougar. There's both sides to this. So cougars, apart from being really gorgeous animals that come from the cat family, eh? So they move very smoothly, very deliberately. They love their food. Is that any surprise? Not a surprise at all. So there is a thing about cougar women. They own the domain. This is their queendom, and you don't want to be messing with it, because that cougar is territorial. This is her territory. You want to be really careful, especially with a cougar woman, that you don't mess with the ones she loves and you don't mess on her territory. She keeps her territory the way she wants to. What do you think about that? So you'd imagine how much fun this is. So pop in your birth date and I'll tell you what you are, what animal totem represents you. And it's not only looking at the animal totem that represents you, take a look at what that animal totem eats. Yeah, so a snake can swallow things whole. It can swallow a mouse whole. It can swallow frogs whole. And there was a time when I didn't know what my energy was, and I didn't know how to control it. Like I could come into a room like a bulldozer. And basically, I didn't take any hostages. I swallowed people whole. And I had no idea that I had done that. And that was one of the things that I learned going on to my vision quest and learning how to control my big energy. Not make it smaller, just to be able to know how to have it ebb and flow in full consciousness of the impact it was having on other people. Because I was clueless. I had no idea. And just like a snake, some people are afraid of snakes because you don't know what their next move is going to be. You don't know if they're going to go this way or that way. You know they're powerful. And sometimes that scares people. So if you're a Scorpio, that falls into your category too. And we shed our skins often. Anybody else? Okay, well, it's such a blast working in here with you because you're with me and you're staying with me. But I'm going to let you go. And if you want to share this video with your friends and come to the retreat next Saturday, January 26th, it's going to be great fun. And this is just a little sampling. I always kid my big sister and she goes, "You know that?" And I go, "Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there." And I've been studying and learning for years, and I love nothing better than to share it with you because my triangle is to be of service in love and beauty. That's me. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Share the video.